as we welcome back first and many. It's been a long time. Technically, it's the first since my mic didn't work for any of them. New lighter, but yeah. Been winding down the week. I was sick this week. Didn't do a whole lot. Hung out with Matt, Cisco, Big Jacob, Mo. You know, the break. Matt pulled a gun on Cisco. Cisco cried. But yeah, all my suit jackets got pissed on previously. If any of the videos kind of went through, I had a nice pinstripe blue one, and a nice green one with like leaves right here. Fucking pissed on my cats and pissed off, bro. Oh well. You gonna think they're so cute, right? They're so cute. Yeah. Been working introspectively a bit this week, I guess is a good way to put things. Watching a movie called Whiplash right now. It's a great movie. The dude who plays Omni-Man and Miles Teller, 2 stars. An hour and 23 minutes in. There are 23 minutes and 34 seconds left. It's a great movie. It has a lot to say about, personal will, perseverance, and really wanting something. Great music. I love jazz. I just love it. I wonder if while we're recording this, honestly, I don't know. Smooth jazz. Oh, you know what? Actually, fuck that. We're just gonna listen to my playlist. Bye. We'll see if that even comes through on the audio. I have not been going to the gym. I need to start going back to the gym. It'll be good for me. As you can tell, I'm putting on some weight. Yes, what's happening in the back of my head? I don't know. But back of the head has been gaining weight. I think it's the beer. Aging has to do with a little bit of it. I don't really care, but I care enough to go back to the gym and get it going. So I need to start going back to the gym, doing my incline walks, doing some jumping jacks occasionally when I can. I have been learning the piano. I can finger real good. But otherwise, like I say, introspective week. But just one of those days where I want to be productive. And, sometimes you didn't do anything, so you just gotta play an instrument. Get better, right? Right? That's the point of playing instruments. You just get better if you play it. Play more, win more, right? That's the point. It's still a little hot. Still a little. tattooing. That's what all this ink on my hands is from. I would like to get better at the piano. You know, that way if there's just like a place with the piano, I can just go play like Flight of the Bumblebee or something. It'd be cool. One of my favorite airports, there's a piano in like the area you wait for right before TSA. See some people do some pretty nice things on that. Should I shave it? I can go back to the gym. Honestly, I don't know if I have cancer or something because my lymph nodes have been pretty swollen. This jacket kind of matches my mustache. Oh, tattoos. It's all freehand, no stencils, no tracing, just straight from the brains with the pen. This pen, buzz, if it was on, but it's not on, so it doesn't go buzz if I don't turn it on. Yeah, like, I fuck with this little cactus right here. It came out really good. For a little cactus, it took like a minute. I charged something like $10 for that. Thinking that I need ways to motivate myself. I've been proud of myself recently. Maybe that's the way I can motivate myself, is continuing to be proud of myself. Particularly with everything that's been going on in my life, a lot. I've been able to take hold, stay happy, for the most part, and continue to love, which for me is number one. No, I was thinking the other day and asking myself a bunch of questions and meditating and getting a different perspective. But one of the first questions I asked myself was, when does habit become resilience? And for me, about when habit becomes, like resilience, is when you're able to really rely on constant behaviors or actions to cope. Adapt and kind of maintain a sense of stability or well-being even in difficult circumstances. It can be something as simple as a subtle shift, repeating something out of routine, or using, that as a tool to overcome obstacles and stressors. Here. When when you ask, like, how, things like, repetition, but with like purpose. You can't just be repeating things because you're bored, or maybe you can, but like you have to have a purpose. I don't know. Like breathing isn't a purpose for repetition. Well, and I guess I can't say that because breathing does have a purpose. Simply existing is pretty much a purposeful repetition. So if you can think about it that way, but when you're resilient, you don't just rely on your old habits for like comfort. You use those habits to adapt to change, then that's how you become resilient. For example, you have a person who regularly practices problem solving or reflective thinking. You may not just kind of continue those habits mindlessly. They use them to find new solutions and, think outside the box to maybe in their own life or, when they're dealing with things. But it's a purposeful repetition to think about things critically and, actually have conversations with yourself for a purpose. And, that kind of builds more things like, emotional endurance. I have when you have habits that you can do that have a purpose and you do that, aren't just for comfort, and you can use those habits to adapt to change. That's usually a sign of resilience, and it means you're pushing through emotional times and you're gaining and learning and growing, and habits that turn into resilience are often those that help you learn from failures or setbacks. Let's just say, at the end of the day, I go and meditate, right? And I build that routine, and every day I'm using that for a purpose, and I can use it in a sense where it's growing me, and I'm learning, and I'm using it to adapt to change, and maybe gain different perspectives. That is a habit that turns into resilience. So, if you're trying to get habits that, allow you to be a resilient person, you need the ability to kind of bounce back and keep going through really tough times despite setbacks, and habits that become part of that process when they support the inner strength, they harden your soul, as you may say, and habits that once felt automatic and are just functional can shift into something more meaningful, offering stability, control, and adaptability, especially when you have really tough times and you can get different perspectives and sit back and continue those good habits and get through those tough times. Now, when you have habits that kind of you want to build yourself into a routine and want to make you stronger, but you don't know if they're particularly making you stronger, if you don't know if you're relying on them, then habits of resilience can gradually shift into habits of reliance, especially when you're using them as a crutch rather than a source of strength or power or to build yourself. And like I said, it goes, if you don't learn or grow or maybe adapt to the situation you're in because of it, it's turning into a reliant source of toxicity. Essentially, it's addiction. And it happens when habits that were originally helping you, to cope with challenges and maybe even to adapt, they replace your ability to adapt or face difficulties in more flexible ways. So it's like it's kind of a catch-22 in some sense. You have these things that are helping you and you thought were more of a resilient source of power. You kind of find they take away from your time, what you're doing. They're not serving you a purpose. And a few of the ways you can tell a habit is turning into a reliant habit is over-reliance is a big one. You're obviously needing that thing to cope or needing it just to even feel normal is kind of a good sense to look at that, if you can't find something else to replace it, maybe that's a good way to look at something that you're over-reliant on. But if you kind of find yourself always turning to the same, habits to cope, obviously, it's gonna. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about in my introspective habit of the week. I want to do things to kind of change the world, in better ways. Even if it's as simple as putting a smile on someone's face. You can always do that going down the street. But one of the questions I kind of battled with is, I really want to try and change the world, but not everybody wants the world to change. So will it even change if I try to change the world? And kind of some of the things I was thinking about was start with this is kind of, we're all different. That's what I was saying is, some people don't want the world to change, so I don't know. One of the inner questions I have with this question is, or this. I need more words in my vocabulary, bro. Shit. Number. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll start by saying this. You don't want to impact other people's lives. It's their own lives to impact. You wanna change the world by allowing your life to be bigger than yourself. And one of the things I struggled with the fallacy, maybe I would say, is a person might not want to change, and if I want to change the world, I might have to change the perspective. And the quarrel I have with that is, am I rightfully in the position to, in any sense, wherever I am, however much money, let's just say I have, how much power I have, do I have the right to even change a human's perspective? And while I can try my best to convince them, or not convince them, because that's what I'm saying, is it's my right, is it morally just to force or try to convince someone of your own beliefs? And I don't know, honestly. Or in the sense, practice what you preach kind of thing. If I truly believe in that what I want change in the world is right, I lead by example and practice what I preach, essentially. Maybe truly they'll find a way to change their perspective, but some people are so, and I can't say that. I can't say that some people are so clouded or anything, because everybody does have the ability to change and see the world for what it is, and some people just don't want to. I don't know how to change that for everybody, because everybody's different. It would be so huge to touch everybody at such a small, independent, personal scale, compared to how much change it would bring on. They would feel insignificant in any, and maybe that's just the way I think of it, and I can't think of that, but for me, there's 8 billion people on this planet. If I'm trying to change the world, might as well just do it, right? Kind of goes back to this, like I was saying earlier. You practice in yourself habits of resilience, and this resilience you build with habits that continue to help you learn and grow and adapt and keep your main goal in mind, can lead through breakthrough moments and discouraging times. I mean, when you're facing so much resistance, especially from, you know, people, whether it's people who benefit from the status quo or like, you know,